Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. This is Jad from Heroes to Icons. We'll be talking about your must-have comic books for June 24th next week. And before I continue, I'd like to thank everyone for their support over here on YouTube, on Instagram, and supporting buying my blank sketch covers with my art on it over on my eBay account. And those of you who have reached out and look for a commission. Some of them are going out, and some of them are hitting the drawing board very soon. Got a lot of big things going on. Hopefully, I will have a fully furnished comic book room. Hopefully, by the middle of July. I'm hoping. Fingers crossed, because I'm doing all the work myself, I think. But lot of great stuff happening. And before we jump into it, I got a few things to talk about now, and one thing to talk about when we finished. Robert Kirkman is coming out with a new book with Chris Samney called Firepower, and the graphic novel for that is dropping on July 1st. It looks super dope. Anybody that likes Kirkman stuff or anybody that's interested in kung fu type comic books and stuff like that, it looks pretty dope. Joshua Williamson is soon to begin his final arc on The Flash, unfortunately, and that storyline will be entitled The Finish Line. Looks like Marvel is relaunching Iron Man in September. Talent Cadwell and Cafu will be doing that, and I don't know if Alex Ross is doing all the covers, but he's definitely doing the cover for #1. And he also has redesigned Tony Stark's armor. It looks like a cross between like the Extremis armor and like the old school armor, which is pretty dope. And not so good news. They're turning She-Hulk immortal after all this Empire stuff goes on. I wish they would just turn her back to the sweet, slim, super strong She-Hulk. But who knows? And in slabbing news, I sent off 10 books to CBCS Monday, I think. They should be there now. And none of them are being pressed and cleaned. They're just being graded as is. And we will hopefully have something nice to show you guys in the next coming weeks. And I sent, I think, 3 magazines and 5 books to CGC. And was one of them a comic? I don't know. I think I might have sent that Batman Damned. And then I sent 2 Game Informer books to be slabbed. Something different. And 5 books over there probably will be sold. But without any further to do, let's jump into these books. We're going to start off with our indies. Only got 1 book for the true indies. And that's Year Zero, #2 by Benjamin Percy and Ramon Rosanas. First one looked pretty dope, so we shall continue with that. Moving over to Boom Studios, we have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers #50. I believe this is the last issue in this run, by Ryan Perrott and Danielle DiNiculio. There's a bunch of covers for this. The one I put up was cover A, the foil wraparound cover by Jamal Campbell, and this cover is also like an A and B separate regular cover. We got the Chris Clark cover. That's a Scorpion Comics exclusive, and a Clayton Crane cover, which also is from Scorpion Comics. We got a 1 in 25 incentive by Anka, and a Dan Mora cover for cover E, and that is the FOC variant. Once in Future #8, one of my favorites, by Karen Gillian and Dan Mora. And I know they were saying they were shipping, like a 1 per store variant or something like that for like the next couple of issues for this. But I only have the cover for, the regular cover. Next up, we have Image Comics. Die #11 is back by Karen Gillian and Stephanie Hans. Hans is doing cover A. and Ben Oliver is doing cover B. Dead Body Road, Bad Blood #1 by Justin Jordan and Ben Tesma. This looks pretty interesting. I think this is a continuation of the original Dead Body, which I have no idea, but I'm going to pick it up. Middle West #17 by Scotty Young and Jorge Corona. Great book to pick up. Mercy #3, written, drawn, and directed, I always say, by Mirka Andolfo. She is doing cover A, and Stefan Sejic is doing cover B. Spawn 307 by Todd McFarlane and Philip Tan. McFarlane is doing cover A, really nice close-up of Spawn. And cover B is by Matina. I believe there are 2 other covers, but they may be versions or black and whites of those issues. Next up, moving over to Marvel, we have Captain America Snapshot #1 by Mark Russell, Kurt Busiek, and Ramon K. Perez. Alex Ross is doing cover A. Cover B is by Ramon Perez, and we have an incentive cover by Jack Kirby for cover C. Empire #0, The Avengers by Al Ewing, and one of my top 10 artists of 2020, Pepe Larraz. Cover A, I believe, they do have a regular and a wraparound, I believe. Don't quote me on it. By Jim Chung. Cover B is a double action figure cover. Cover C is a 1 in 25 by Pepe Larraz, and cover D is a 1 in 50 by Cole Pham. I'm only getting the regular Empire books, none of the connecting books whatsoever. Immortal Hulk 34. Bruce Banner returns after COVID. We have by Al Ewing and Butch Guice. Alex Ross is doing cover A, and we have a zombie variant by In-Huk Lee for cover B. Star Wars Bounty Hunters #3 by Ethan Sachs and Polio Villanelli. Lee Bermejo is doing cover A, and Chris Sprouse is doing an Empire Strikes Back cover for cover B. Last book from Marvel is Thor #5 by Donny Cates and Nick Klein. Oliver Coppola is doing cover A. Cover B is a Jin Hong Yoon cover by Jin Hong Yoon, excuse me, and that's a zombie cover. And we have an incentive cover. I think that's a 1 in 25, if I'm correct, by Assad Rebic. Next up, of course, and last, I say but not least, DC Comics. We have Aquaman #60 by Kelly Sudaconic and Miguel Mendoza. Robson Roach is doing cover A, and Kyler Kirkham is doing cover B. Batgirl 46 by Cecil Castellucci and Carmen D. I'm not going to butcher the name anymore. Cover A is by Giuseppe Camacoli, and cover B is by In-Huk Lee. The book, I guess, to grab this week from DC, one of the books, Batman 93 by James Tynion IV and Jorge Jimenez. Tony Daniels is doing cover A. Francesco Mattina is doing cover B, and cover C is a design variant of the designer by Jorge Jimenez. Batman Beyond, I did not write the number again, but Batman Beyond comes out this week, by Dan Jurgens and Sean Chen. Cover A is by Dustin Nguyen, and cover B is by Francis Manapul. Get both covers. Batman Killer Smile #1 by Jeff Lemire. Well, not Killer Smile, Smile Killer. It's the opposite. By Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino. Sorrentino is doing cover A, and Carrie Andrews is doing cover B. Speaking of the Flash, Flash 756 by Joshua Williamson and Christian Doucet. Cover A is by Rafael Sandoval, and cover B is by Daniel Warren Johnson. The last of the 80th anniversaries so far, The Green Lantern by Jeff Johns, Ivan Reyes, and various other writers and artists. And of course, we have our decades covers. Cover A is by Liam Sharp. The 1940s cover is by Niccolo Scott. 1950s is by Matt Taylor. 1960s is by Doug Mankey. Cover 1970s is by Neil Adams. The 1980s is by David Finch, even though I'm not a real fan of Guy Gardner. That cover looks dope. The 1990s is by Philip Tan. Ivan Reis is the 2000s, Fire. And Jim Lee is the 2010s. And we have a blank sketch variant for that, and that is green. Very nice. Be nice to have those. I think I might have to get a few of those. Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey #2 by Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Conner. Amanda Conner is doing cover A, and Arthur Adams is doing cover B. Somebody let me know how this book is. Justice League Dark 23 by James Tynion IV and Kyle Hotz. Yannick Paquette is doing cover A, and Kyle Hotz is doing cover B. Pardon me, there was a slight hiccup. Justice League 47 by Robert Venditti and Eddie Barrows. Cover A is by Gary Frank, and cover B is by Mikhail Hanen. The Plunge #4 by Joe Hill and Stuart Immerman. Cover A is by Jeremy Wilson, and cover B is by Gary Frank. Red Hood Outlaw 46 by Scott Lobdell and Paleo Palantino. Palantino is doing cover A, and cover B is by Philip Tan. Suicide Squad #6 by Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo. Redondo is doing cover A, and Jeremy Roberts is doing cover B. Last book for DC Comics, Teen Titans 42 by Robbie Thompson and Eduardo Pansiska. Bernard Chang is doing cover A, and Kari Randolph is doing cover B. For the covers of the week, I'm going to start off with Teen Titans 42 by Kari Randolph. Green Lantern, the 80th anniversary. The 2000s Ivan Reis cover. Red Hood Outlaw 46, the Philip Tan cover. Suicide Squad #6, the Jeremy Roberts cover, which is ridiculous. And for the cover of the week, we have Die #11 by Stephanie Hans. Definitely buying 2 of those. Portrait Fit to be Slabbed. For the books of the week, of course, we have the Green Lantern 80th anniversary. One of the better ones of these 80th anniversaries. Empire Avengers #0. Once in Future #8, one of my favorites. Of course, Thor #5. And for the book of the week, we have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers #50. The last in this series. Make sure that you pick it up. And before we get out of here, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and everything else was lit up by Robert Kirkman. He is dropping one more Walking Dead book entitled Negan Lives. We cannot get enough of The Walking Dead. I don't know about anybody else. And a nice capstone to this series. And of course, it is written by Robert Kirkman. And Charlie Adlard is coming on for this book also. I believe it's a 36-page black and white, of course. And make sure you pick this up. Make sure you ask about it. It's Robert Kirkman said 100% of the proceeds supposed to go directly to the comic stores. They're not paying for the book to be shipped. 0 freight. So most likely they'll be shipping directly from Image, which is pretty dope. And this book comes out July 1st. So look out for it. And also Robert Kirkman's graphic novel that I said at the beginning of this video, Firepower, drops. And also the free comic book day version of Firepower drops on July 1st. So that's 3 books by Robert Kirkman dropping before the 4th of July. So make sure you grab those. All right, folks. It's about time to hit the drawing table once again. So I will see you guys at the same bat time and at the same bat channel. Peace.